If you're looking for practical, ready-to-use ideas to engage your students, you're in the right place. I share teaching ideas regularly, so subscribe if you'd like to know when the next resource is ready. I want to share one of my favorite little tools, exit tickets. They're a valuable way for students to cement their learning and reflect on the lesson before they walk out of the door. What I love is they build on metacognitive thinking. Students step back and think about what they learned and how they learned it. And that's exactly what makes learning stick. And each ticket can target a different thinking skill: recall, reasoning, prediction, application, or evaluation. So you can mix and match depending on what your lesson needs. Now, how simple are these to use? Pull one out after an activity or at the end of the lesson, or any moment when you want your students to stop and think about their learning. They can write the answers in their notebooks or on a sticky note they pop on the board or door as they leave. There's no need for names. This is about thinking, not grading. And if they've written in their notebooks, invite a few volunteers to share. And no, you don't need to read every response. This isn't meant to add to your workload, because the real work happens inside the student's head. The act of reflecting is what makes them accountable for their learning. Okay, let's begin with the first one. Headline news. Tell students, imagine today's lesson just became breaking news. Write the headline and the first sentence of the article, because you want to make people read more. The time traveler. A student from 100 years ago appears in our classroom. Explain today's lesson so they understand it, and then what would surprise them most? Then the emoji summary. Choose 3 emojis that sum up today's lesson and write one sentence explaining why you chose each one. The emojis are the hook. The reasoning is the reflection. The forgetful teacher. Play it up. Oh no, I've forgotten everything I taught you today. Write me a note reminding me of the 3 most important things. And be kind, I'm embarrassed. Who needs this? Have students think of one real person, famous, or someone they know, who really needs what we learned today. Who is it? And why would it help them? The movie trailer. Today's lesson is becoming a movie. Write the dramatic voiceover, starting with "In a World Where," and give it a title. 1 question left. The lesson's over. But 1 question is still stuck in your head. Write it down, a real question, something you genuinely still wonder about. Okay, the next one is sell it. You've got 20 seconds to convince next year's students this lesson is worth their time. Write your 20-second pitch. The wrong answer. Write down one thing someone might misunderstand about today's lesson. Then correct it. Spotting the mistakes and fixing it shows a deeper understanding than just repeating the right answer. Future you. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Where and when might you actually use what we learned in today's lesson? Describe that moment. Grandma's version. Explain today's lesson to your grandmother over dinner. Simple words, no school language. If she'd understand it, you've got it. But be sensitive here. Some of your students may not have a grandma, so you could adapt it to rather explain it to a 10-year-old. The missing piece. Ask, what should we learn next after today's lesson? What's the natural step and why? This hands them ownership of where the learning goes. Rate it like an app. Give today's lesson a star rating out of 5 and write a short app review. What worked? What would you improve in the next update? The detective. A detective investigates our lesson and asks, What's the evidence that learning happened here today? Write down 3 pieces of proof from your own brain and pass it on. You may keep only one idea from today's lesson and must give the rest away. Which one do you keep and why that one? This makes them weigh everything and decide what mattered most. And that's it. There are so many different exit tickets that you can use. They aren't extra marking or another job on your plate. The magic is in the pause, the quiet moment where students stop and reflect, because reflection is what turns a lesson into learning that lasts. Please note, if you have weak students whose mother tongue is different to what you're teaching in class, they can respond in their mother tongue because you want the learning to stick and you're not focusing on language. If you try one of these, leave a comment and tell me how it went. I'd love to hear.